everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back and thank you for supporting me. I'm Coretta. As you know, Cricut's print then cut is limited to 6.75 by 9.25 inches. In today's video, I will show you a hack so that you can make a print then cut design larger than the allowed dimensions. Want to see how I do it? Let's get started. For this project, I am using a black Bella Canvas t-shirt that I purchased from Michael's. I have some Starcraft for dark material that I purchased from 143 Vinyl. And I have the transfer mask tape that I purchased from 143 Vinyl. And I also have some heat tape that I purchased from Amazon. I will leave the link to all the materials in the description below. Okay, so here in Cricut Design Space, the first thing I'm going to do is upload the image I want to put on my shirt. You would use the image of your choice. I purchased my image from Etsy, but you can get your image from Google or wherever you get your images from. To upload the image, you would go to Upload on your left-hand menu bar. Go to Upload, Upload Image. You will browse to where your image is located. You will select your image and then hit Open. The image will upload. You will select the complex option and then you would hit Continue. The image is a PNG image, and so there's no reason, we don't have to clean up the background because as you can see, the blue and white checker here, which indicates that the image is transparent, is there. So there's no need for us to clean up anything here, and we can select Apply and Continue on the bottom right. Now the image is really large, so we saw that warning, and that's why it's taking so long for the image to upload. So we have our image uploaded, and we're going to select the print then cut image, and then we're going to select Upload. Okay, on your recent uploads, you're going to select the image and then you're going to select Add to Canvas. Now here's the image on the canvas, and as you can see, the image is pretty big. I have this warning triangle here on my layers panel on the right. Excuse me. This warning means that the image is too big for the print and cut feature. And like I mentioned in my intro, Cricut limits you to an image size of 6.75 by 9.25 or less. This is so that the program can account for the registration box it will need to perform the print then cut function. So what I need to do is resize my image, but I want my image to be the standard size of the t-shirt decal. So I'm going to size my image according to the standard t-shirt sizing guide for a large shirt. According to the t-shirt sizing guide, the width of my image should be 9 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the proportion lock is locked. And I am going to change the width of this design to 9 inches. So I changed the width to 9 inches. And so the image proportionately sized to 9 inches in width and 10.612 in height. So as you can see by the 1 inch triangle, the image is still too big. So this is where the hat comes in. To get this design printed in the size I want, I will be using the slice feature. This is how you would make the print then cut as big as you want them to be. So I'm going to move this image over a little bit out of the way. And to slice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a shape and I am going to insert it on my canvas. And that would be to go to the shape icon on your left menu. And then you're going to insert a square into your canvas. Next, I will unlock the square and size it to 9.25 by 6.75. Now I have a square that is the exact dimensions of a print then cut size. So when doing this hack, you want to make sure that your square is the exact size allowed for print then cut. Because if your image was larger, you will want to make sure you cover the maximum amount allowed. Next, I'm going to duplicate this square and position it at the bottom of the first square. So to duplicate, I'm going to select my square and I'm going to go to the right menu bar at the top and click duplicate. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this second square at the bottom of the first square, but I'm also going to create a small overlap so that a small overlap on the box. And this overlap is going to help when it's time to line your design up. So you want to create that small overlap. Okay, so I am satisfied with that. Next, I'm going to arrange the image on the square where I want the image to be split. So to arrange the image on the square, I'm going to select the image. On the top menu, I'm going to go to Arrange, and I'm going to select Bring to Front. So we have our image brought to the front. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the image on top of the squares so that I can position it where I want the image to be cut. And I'm going to zoom out a little so we can see the image on the square, on both of the squares. Let's go one more time. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the image onto the squares so that the image fits on the square and it's in a good place for me to cut it. And so I like it right there. So after I've positioned the image onto the squares, what I'm going to do is I am going to select both of the squares and the image on the canvas, and I'm going to select duplicate. I'm going to move this set over to the side. Now I will work on the first copy by selecting the bottom square and hitting delete. I'm then going to select the square and the circle, the remaining square and the image, the remaining square and the image, and on the bottom right menu bar, toolbar, whichever one you want to prefer, I'm going to select slice. Cricut is moving really slow today. And now that I have everything sliced, come on, Cricut. I'm going to take the top part of the image once I get it. I'm going to move it out of the way, and I'm going to delete all the other pieces. So here's the top piece. Again, my apologies. Cricut is moving really slow today. On the second copy, I'm going to delete the top box. Then I'm going to select the image and the bottom box, and I'm going to select slice again. And again, Cricut is moving slowly. I'm going to move the bottom piece over, and I am going to delete the remaining pieces. So now, if you look on the layers panel, the warning triangle is gone. And that's because now I have two pieces that meet the size restriction for the print and cut feature. The next step is to print it. To do this, I'm going to go to the upper right-hand corner and select Make It. On this screen, there will be no changes, so I'm going to select Continue on the bottom because this screen just shows the print then cut feature, the print and cut images, and we're not going to mirror any of these mats. And so again, on this screen, there are no changes, so I'm going to hit Continue. This is the screen where we would print our image. So I'm going to select Send to Printer. I'm going to make sure my paper size is on 8.5 by 11. My printer is the HP OfficeJet 5200 series. I want 1 copy of each mat. I'm going to leave my bleed on, and I am going to turn on my system dialog. This is where you can set your printer preferences and for your project to make sure that you get a better quality printed image. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you want to make sure you get a better quality image printed, then this is where you would check to make sure that all of those preferences are selected. If you're satisfied with your default settings of your printer, then you don't need to turn on your system dialog. So then I'm going to hit, after I turn on the system dialog, I'm going to hit Print. The system dialog box will open up, and here I'm going to make sure that my printer is selected, which is HP OfficeJet 5200 series. I'm going to go to Preferences, and I'm going to change my paper to Presentation Matte, and I'm going to select Best for my print quality. And then I'm going to select OK. Once all of my preferences are selected, I'm going to hit Print. Once the image finishes printing, I'll be back. Once the image is printed, you would then select your base material. Now, I have the Cricut Explore Air 2, and I have my dial, my material dial is set to custom so that I can manually select my material. And so for this material, I like to use the Printable Iron-On Dark with my pressure set at default. And so I have it set as one of my favorites. You could browse all material in the search, type Printable, and then you can select the Printable Iron-On Dark for your material. So I have my pressure again is on default, and now I am going to load my mat so that I can cut the image. Now that I have my images printed, now it's time to load the mat so that we can cut our images. Now I'm going to use my standard grip mat to place my transfers on and load the mat into the machine so that Cricut can cut out the image. Now, when you load your mat, you want to make sure that you load your mat edge to edge, and you also want to load your mat so that the image is loaded on the mat in the exact way that it looks on your computer screen. Then you want to press it down firmly so you can make sure it's stuck to the mat. So when you go to cut it, it doesn't move or shift. So I have placed the image on the mat, and so now I'm going to load the image into the machine to cut it, and then I'll be back once I finish cutting both of the images. Okay, so I have both of the pieces of my image cut out, and now I am going to unload the mat. To unload the mat, the best way to unload the mat is to flip the mat over and peel the mat away from the transfer. And this will prevent the transfer from curling. So we have both of the pieces removed off of the mat. And so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to weed the excess vinyl off of the transfers. To weed the excess vinyl, you just simply go to the corner and pull back on the excess vinyl, and the excess vinyl will pull off. So we want to pull off the excess vinyl. So that's that one. And then we go to this one. And we're just gonna pull the excess vinyl off. So now we have both of our images weeded. After we have weeded both of our pieces, then we want to line our pieces up. And so what we're going to do is we are going to lift the edge of the design where we want the pieces to come together. Have that little excess piece right there. We'll get that on later. And then what we're going to do is we are going to then peel back the design so that it reveals a small lift of the transfer. So you want to peel it back like so. Sorry about the camera angles. But we're going to peel it back so that it reveals some of the transfer like so. And we're just going to fold that piece back like that. And so see, we have a piece of the vinyl showing. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece and we're going to line it up with this piece. And we want to make sure that we line it up so that it looks like one whole piece. And once you get it lined up the way you want it to be lined up, you're going to use heat tape to hold the pages in place. So again, I'm going to try to fold back a little bit more of the vinyl so that I can expose it more and kind of work with it a little better. And I'm going to take this little piece off and come back to it because it is not cooperating. It's a little piece that I need to add on here. And so again, I'm just going to line it up so that it matches. Okay, guys, bear with me. Trying to record this without my head getting in the way. And I'm just going to line it up so that the pieces match. And once you have it lined up the way that you want it to be lined up, then you will take some heat tape and you will tape the page into place so that it doesn't move, because you want it to lay right where you place it and not move. Then I'm going to take this little piece and try to put it here so that it doesn't move as well. No, I think I'm going to save that piece. I'm not going to try to get that piece. I'm going to save that piece for last and iron it on once I finish the whole project. That way I don't mess my shirt up. Okay, so we have the image lined up and ready for us to remove it from the transfer. To remove the design from the backing, we are going to use some heat transfer mask tape. And so we're going to remove the mask from the backing. And then we're going to place it down on top of the image. And then we're going to lay it down. And we're going to burnish it to make sure that it sticks to the transfer tape. Once we have it burnished, then we can remove the image from its backing. Whoop. Careful now. You don't want to rip it because, again, it's transfer paper and it's sensitive. So we don't want to be too rough. If you get a piece that's not stuck, just lay it back down and pull it up. So I'm still trying to get it off. So I'm gonna flip it over and remove the first piece of the backing. Again, be very careful so we don't rip the transfer. And this is posed to be a little challenging since I am recording it without trying to get my head in the way. So let me do the bottom piece. Okay, guys, I'm trying to show you all how this goes. Everything doesn't go according to the plan, but it's going. Okay, so I'm going to remove the rest of this backing off of the paper. And so now we have one, get some of the bubbles out. And so now we have one image large enough for our large t-shirt. Now we're going to place it on our shirt and see how it comes out. I'll meet you guys at my heat press. So here we are at the heat press. I have already pre-pressed my shirt, lint rolled it, and applied my image to my shirt. I'm going to be pressing my shirt at 350 for 30 seconds. The image has pressed, and now I'm going to let it cool down a little bit before I peel it off, because I can't remember if it's a warm peel or a cold peel. So I'm going to let it cool down just a little bit, and then we're going to fix that little piece over there. I'm impatient. Yes. Okay, so now I'm going to add that little piece that came off that didn't attach properly. So put that right there. Use this to cover up the rest of the image. Turn it back around this way so nothing will be on it. Okay, and then press it again. Okay, we're going to let it cool down again just a little bit. See how patiently I can wait. And I'm going to peel it. And then, just for good measures, I'm going to put the Teflon sheet on top and press it again for 10 seconds. And that's the shirt. So that's our design. And you can hardly see where the two pieces meet up at. I like that. What do you think? All right, guys, that's all for now. I hope that you were able to follow along with my process. If you like this video and would like to see more, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will respond back. Thank you for watching and see you in my next video.